This week's episode is brought to you by Tabletop Backer Party on Facebook, which is the largest board game crowdfunding group on this side of the internet. Hello, fellow gamers. Welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarter with Gloryhoundd and DrGloryhogg.
Esquire, the third Defender of the Realms.
Did we
Upholder of the Seven Seals.
Oh, Lord.
Please use my full title.
Did we scare you coming into
Because I was on my
today?
phone chatting on the YouTube chat, right?
I'm chatting on the YouTubes to all of you lovely people.
And then I saw like the tabletop backer ad running, and I was like, oh, we're close. And I was like...
And then we have like that delay, like a little bit from what's happening there.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, crap.
So we are much closer than I thought. I'll make fun of my... Hey, this is a man's to be cut. You know how I know? Because on the side of it, it's called...
The Beast.
Beast by Green Steel.
Oh my gosh. Hello to our chat today. We have a ton of people in chat.
$25 Amazon.
I'm so excited. We saw Battlecry and Omar. We have Hackon. I hope I said that right. Nosferatu, PieceKeeper Games. We had Stevens in chat. Sinister
Omar,
Games.
Aaron.
There was also
Petter,
Andrew, I think it was.
Fire.
Aaron Shaw was in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
So we have the regulars, some other people that I hope will become regulars, and then we have all three game companies in the chat.
That's right. So if you're new to our show, make sure to like and subscribe because we talk about Kickstarters every single week. We talk about new ones, as well as we play Kickstarters online for everybody and chat with all of you.
3 times a week, sometimes more if we're on other people's channels.
I know.
Doing their dirty work, because sometimes our playthroughs are so good we have to like outsource them to other people.
All right.
And they can't handle it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
All
right, let's get started today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is the wrong chat. Hold on, everyone.
She's not ready.
I was ready. What happened?
She's not ready.
All right, quickly. Distract everybody.
Is this working?
You're not doing a very good job
that was very distracting.
Dr.
I was
Gloryhogg.
distracted.
You're not doing a very good
So
job.
we're talking about 3 games, and I just want to kind of go over how we pick these games, right? So first and foremost, there has to be hype. So we have to, at least one of us has to really want the game in some way, shape, or form. But then the kind of purpose of the show is to kind of go through them, just like you would if you're at a game store with your significant other or your friend, and you're looking and you're like, cool, we have a $50 gift card. Here's 3 games. We can only afford one. Which one do we want to buy? So that's generally the premise of the show, right? We're picking out games that we're excited about that we saw on Kickstarter. We put them up, and then we kind of go through them and decide which ones we actually want to back, because we got to spend that hard-earned money. Absolutely,
and this is not sponsored by any of these game companies, which we really want to make sure that you all know. These are like our opinions, and we get to talk about it and collaborate with all of you, okay? So now that we're past this embarrassing moment here.
It's not embarrassing. And before we dive even further into these games, I just want to make a real quick announcement, just so there's no conflict of interest. I have been in talks as far as Gloryhoundd Productions with Game Trays. So all I'm going to say whenever I see Game Trays from now on is chef's kiss, which is no different than what I would have said a week ago if I would have seen something from Game Trays. Because
like some of that Game Trays, we still love
Game Trays.
I mean, we love Game Trays to start with. So like, I mean, what are you gonna do?
No real conflict of interest. There's never been a time where I opened up a game and saw, oh, there's a game tray in here. Dang it, that really ruins the experience. I don't like setting up my games quicker.
So starting off, this is Ivion. This is the hero crafting game by Luminary Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, and it should last about 15 to 30 minutes. Now, in this particular game right here, it's almost like a remake of the original, because they've taken this original idea that they had from the previous campaign, and then they've built upon it and made this glorious game that you see right here, where it's not just a card crafting game where you're fighting other players, but you're also able to go ahead and have like little minis on it. There's a nice little board. Like, there's so much more of a board game feel to it. I feel like it went from like a card game feel to board games very quickly.
Well, let's just be real here. So Tom Vassell reviewed this game, right? And he went through a lot of different things. And if you watch his review from the original, this is a re-implementation, right? It is still standalone. He went over a couple different things. He was like, okay, I wish this thing had a board. I don't really like the organization. He's like, there's a couple little nitpicky things. He's like, I wish the components were a little bit better and stuff. And they literally took every single thing Tom talked about and did it. So I hope Tom is back like 6 copies.
Tom needs to be backing at least 7 copies of this.
He said that he wished that there was decks that were like kind of already built more, so that way like you could just jump into it a little bit easier. So like literally everything he mentioned in his video, which he still gave it the seal of approval. He still liked the game.
Oh yeah.
Even how it was last year. So he took everything that it had last year, and then like they just implemented all of that.
Right.
And whenever you say like, oh, I really wish there was like better organization, and then you go take the time to get like something like game trays, that's not just organization. That's like next level implementation. I'm excited. This reminds me of when Dice Throne went from their box, which was fine, to Dice Throne Season 2, which then had the implemented game trays, the upgraded dice, all that cool stuff, and it really just upped the overall production value of it, right? And this has done like the same type of thing.
Overall, this is a card game where you're actually going to be building your character that's going to be fighting on the board here, and then you're going to be taking those decks and like mixing them up and stuff to enable to create that character in order for you to play, which I really, really love, which is like deck building, card crafting, like, I don't know if there's like another name of it.
So I think you guys all know my love for Magic the Gathering, right? I talk about it all the time, and my love for other card games. I love dueling card games. It might be one of my favorite things, right? Like I like deck building, I like dueling card games. Love it. Love Dice Throne, love Magic the Gathering. This kind of reminds me of the idea behind Keyforge, right? I really like the idea of like, you're just mashing stuff up together and you get to play it.
Which we both loved Keyforge.
And I really enjoyed Smash Up until somebody ruined it for me by explaining it's just a bunch of math where you're just constantly going, add 1, take away 3 because of this monster. Do I have enough to trigger this base? It ruined it for me.
Sinister Fish Games also says the design of those cards are gorgeous, and I am 100% agree. The art in this game is fantastic. This is like Magic the Gathering style level of art where like it's this beautiful fantasy style or fantasy level art.
One thing about Magic the Gathering art is it's either really good or really bad. And I am not an artist, but since they get such a wide variety of people, there's never like a cohesive art design. It's always like it kind of follows a general theme and then they just go, sure, we like that. It looks like a forest, right? All right. Anyways, art is amazing. The box art is way better than the other one. It looks just, it's eye-popping. Think of something that you just want to pick up if you're walking down in the store. This is like everything I wanted Keyforge to be, except it actually is going to do it. So I enjoyed Keyforge for a weekend, and it was fine, right? But I never got to do the things I wanted to do because I was mashing up these different tribes, and then I thought, oh, it's going to be so great playing these together, but I never had enough cards to do what I really wanted to do. With this one, for every little mini selection you make, for the different classes and everything you mash, you're getting like 15 cards. So a third of your deck is going to be that, but it mashes well because there's, based off of what character you pick, there's certain ones that you have to pick, and then there's going to be like another one that you get to kind of mix in, plus 2 feats you get to add in. So you can really mix in a lot of really cool stuff. And I'm really excited about taking the idea of Smash Up or Keyforge and putting it into a game that's more Magic the Gathering-like, which is funny because, because Keyforge was made by Richard Garfield, who made Magic the Gathering originally. This feels like it's all those things I wanted, but ended up getting rid of. This feels like all of that. And I like that it's a cohesive, like, here's your deck, you can build it really quickly, and then after you played it a while, you can then mix and match stuff in, and I really
So we have
about
Nosferatu saying that that's a PC wallpaper waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, I would love to have this as a wallpaper right here.
Out of the 3,
so good.
If I was only doing one, this is the one, because
the Archmage and the Invoker.
Oh yeah, because you want to be that old wizard. She loves playing as old wizards, and you love stars. And this guy's like, I'm going to burn all your books. And then this other dude over here is like, that's because you're weak and you can't handle the power of holding a star. That seems like something you would say.
Let's see here.
And I would try to light a book on fire. So, boom.
I'm counting the cat's meow as back at humans, right?
Yeah, that cat is uncontrollable. You can see why we only let her out for the Kickstarter show.
Only for the Kickstarter shows now, because we can't have her jumping up on the table and stuff.
Yeah, we don't want her messing up the game pieces through a playthrough.
I really like how they did do the separate boxes for this, so you can pick, all right, well, I want these 2 characters. They're going to probably be very balanced decks against each other, and you can have that starting off base. Like you can have a starting off package where you can purchase this, and you can play it a whole bunch of times if you want to and stay at that level. Or if you really, really like the game, you can go all in, or, you can buy them here and there as you go along. I'm really, really excited about that.
So let me put it to you this way. As I was looking at this, so we look at it early in the week, right? And then I look at it usually again, and then I look at it the day of. So I was looking at it this morning. I did this 3 times. I had this game pulled up. I went and looked at their old Kickstarter campaign, right?
Yes.
Looked at that.
Because we don't just research the one that people do. We usually go back and look at other things as well. Like, that's mandatory when we're doing our research.
This happened to me 3 times. While in the middle of looking at the other campaigns, I stopped, went back to this one to look at something. So I kept on like going back to this one to look at stuff. For me, hands down, this is my pick for sure.
This is your pick?
Yeah. So
right off the bat, this is the pick for the week?
I love the idea of this game. And the fact that, you know, old Grumpy Tom likes it, that tells me something, because he can usually find a lot of things to nitpick about the game. This is the style of game I really love. They have really cool boards. I like that you can just get like the one combined thing, or you can add in all the rest. I like that it comes with extra cards, so even if you just get the one set, there's extra cards you can mix in right from the very beginning. So I love it.
Transcendence Zen, DrGloryhogg's pick of the week means he's saying that this, out of all 3 of these games...
If I can only back one, this would be the one.
That's right, absolutely. This would be the one, number 1, that DrGloryhogg wants to back. Now, what level were you thinking of? Because there's
here's the problem,
a couple different levels.
Right? So as a lot of you know, I recently lost my job, which was our main source of money. We're picking up some other stuff. We're doing some contract work through, you know, Gloryhoundd Presents, a lot of our playthroughs and everything like that. Of course, Patreons, which we got our first Patreon yesterday.
Yeah.
Our first Patreon. So whoever did, she knows who it is. She can look it up. But that's like, you're like getting in on the ground floor right there. Boom. We got ourselves a small yapper, $5 a month. Awesome.
Small yapper.
Love it.
Joining the pack.
A small doggo. So as you know, that this is kind of where we're actually making our money off of this stuff now, right? But that also kind of limits what we can back. So I want to back it at 40, I think, because I want to try it, but I have a feeling that if I can get her into it, because she's the hard sell, right? Because I know I'm going to like it. I love these style of games. If I can get her into it and playing it a lot, then I could see doing what I did like with Dice Throne and going in all in and getting the rest. I'm going to probably kick myself because that 129, if you want just the whole thing, if you're just 100% ready to buy in, is a smoking deal. A smoking deal.
Okay,
it's like you're getting a whole pack for free.
Transcendent Zen here says, the price is what concerns me. If the game is good, I wonder if it's worth the $40. Now, here's the thing. When in the previous Kickstarter, they were more just decks of cards, and the price was lower because they were decks of cards. But
because it didn't have a board or any of the other stuff.
reviews and everything and all of the other stuff that is included in the game, because they're basically upgrading this to a basically board game status. You know, you're adding extra cardboard, extra tokens, you're adding miniatures. So having that price point at $40 for the box with all of that included in it is actually a very reasonable price. Although in your mind, I know you're probably thinking, oh, well, this is a card game. It should be right around that $30 mark or whatever it is, you know, $25 mark. But all the upgrades that they've done to this game has definitely made it that price point worth it, in my opinion, because you are getting a board game portion to it.
We're good. The doorbell rings. I'm just making sure that
the big booth doesn't give the big. You know, we're gonna have all the difficulties today, so that's what we're gonna do.
The dog will bark it up. So, because she's a big old dog. It's a big old pocket bully that we rescued, and she will bark.
Yeah.
So I think for everything you're getting, this does. I think the closest comparison I can have is Dice Throne, just because the original Dice Throne was like $40, right? And you got 6 characters, I think, or 8 characters, and it was some dice, right? You know, 5 die for each character, and then you had some cards, and it was pretty inexpensive. But then you jumped up in price for the second one because it had game trays, it had the trifold board, it had specialized dice, more tokens, right? So you are definitely going to get what you pay for in this. I think $40 is reasonable for that. You know, of course, who doesn't want it to be cheaper? Everybody does, right?
I want game trays to put my game trays in. Game trays for your game trays?
I'll look into that for you.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and check that out.
So I think for everything that you're getting in this is definitely worth it. I can see that you could just pick up one of these, like, because since it isn't a game tray, you can just pick up one of these, throw it in your backpack, and go meet up with a friend who has another one. Very easy. I think it's a very sound investment. I like a lot of things in this where there's cards that can interrupt, but in actuality, you're actually playing control cards. Like, you can disable somebody, like disarm them, so like they can't swing a club at you. That just makes sense thematically and in a game. I like that you're not rolling necessarily dice. You're using the dice to track things instead, like how much stuff you're using. You're going to be constantly battling between, I can't use this ability currently, so should I use an action to reduce that die so then I can use this ability? I've got the power, but I don't have the resources because your power might go down, your resource goes up, and the next one needs your resource to go down and your power, like your actions to go down. There's a lot of really cool balancing things in this that I just really enjoy. And I like when you can say, oh, I like playing as this, I'm just going to use generic terms. I like playing as this warrior, priest, mage, but now I'm going to add in a sorcerer and be a sorcerer mage. Now you're like a spell sword. It really feels like you're taking all those classic like D&D 3.5 edition characters and like kind of making an actual character more than just like, I'm playing as this red deck or I'm playing as this green deck. I like to make big creatures. You're like, no, I'm a giant witch sorcerer. And you're
That's
like,
right.
I'm going to run around and Baba Yaga everybody. Just be like, bah, chickens, everyone. You're a chicken. You're a chicken.
Well, and as always, I always love whenever they have things on Tabletop Simulator, which if you are interested in the game at all, it's always good to go on there, try it out, see if you actually like it, you like the gameplay. If you're interested in it, then you can make that decision there. So we always appreciate it whenever the publishers do this and get things up on Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator, because that try before you buy is strong, and it's somewhat a confidence thing also in your game. Like, you are confident enough to have your game and show your game off to everybody who wants to see it and know that it's a good game and that it's solid in its mechanics before it even gets to somebody's table, which I always really appreciate.
And the nice thing about this is you know that they've already produced this game once. They're just trying to increase it and make it easier to get into, more portable, and revise a little bit of it.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you're getting in on the ground floor like you're like, I hope this game is good. It was good enough that they want to reinvest even more into it.
So, DrGloryhogg and our chat.
Give it
And
to
our
me.
chat
Give
there.
me one of those.
All right, hold on here.
This is new. You can thank my little brother for this.
So,
I'm staking my burrito on it. This is where I'm placing my burrito. I'm
This
using
is
my burrito
about-
for this one.
this is about how many Chipotle burritos is this? So, per our Chipotle burrito conversion rate
I'll
here.
say about $7 to $8 per burrito.
So, we're
Gonna
going
go
to
into
say at least 4
$40.
burritos. So, that's like 2 nights worth of burritos if you get the guac, okay? If you get extra guac on your burritos and stuff, okay? So, instead of going to Chipotle 2 times,
Someone told me to toss it. It's not my fault. I just
burrito slap.
I just do what Nosferatu said.
This is what you want to stake your burrito on for this show.
Yeah, this is where I'm taking my stand. I want this bad.
You want this bad?
Yeah, I honestly, if I wouldn't have recently lost my job like 3 weeks ago, I would have been like
All in?
on the 129. I
All
think
in?
because
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm gonna want everything.
Everything, yeah.
I think worst case scenario, I'm gonna get the sun and stars one. Like I think that's the one I want to go for, and then I think later I'll pick up the original to mix in a bunch of stuff.
Aaron says, I want to live where all your burritos at Chipotle are $7. That's because ours are usually like no meat.
Oh,
So
yeah, that is true.
it does make our burritos like much less expensive. And Kabuki Kid has never been to Chipotle. What?
I know, Kabuki said it before, and I still don't believe it.
Oh my
But
god.
I mean, it's not everywhere. But
All
we
right.
use it because it's very popular in Arizona.
But you would go ahead and back this game then. This is your all-in.
Yeah,
This
$40
is your burrito.
for sure. I'm doing it because I
You'd
just
sacrifice
I have to have this. Because here's the caveat, right? Like I'm worried since you don't like these games as much. I want to make sure it's a dueling game you like, and then if I can get the kid involved in it, if I can get one of you two to buy into it,
You're like,
I'm getting
I'm
the
done.
rest. Right. Well, that's it. Like if I can get you or the kid into it, then I'm going all in, right? And it's to be realistic. I'm not playing a lot of Magic right now, so this compared to how much I used to spend on Magic, this
Very
is
true.
nothing.
That's minimal. So Vincent says the one positive thing about not being around is I have money. Well, I did have money.
I'll tell you, I used to spend at least
That's understandable.
$130 every 3 months on Magic just for buying a box whenever a new set would come out.
That's very true.
This is much cheaper than that.
All right, well, I'm going to say I would definitely back this as well. I'd like to back it at where we could have just like the one little versus box and
Yeah,
everything
which
and
I
start
think-
there because I'm
I
excited
think
about that.
The Stars one is the one with the wizard and the
It looks
Pyromancer.
fantastic. Like everything about it looks
Right,
amazing.
you get like a cool miniature, you get an actual like life tracker. I feel like this one is being criminally underfunded. I think it's
100% agree with
unfair
that.
that this one hasn't funded, considering it's taken like a good concept and then like totally upped it.
That
overall.
was the other thing. Thanks for mentioning that. This one,
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't think it's met its funding yet, right?
No,
Let
it
me
hasn't.
see.
It's I think like around halfway.
Oh my goodness.
Which I'm surprised because a lot of times these games can do very well, but I think they're leaning heavier on a heavier production, which usually is a little bit more expensive, and I think that might be throwing some people off.
Tom needs to back this Since all of this was his idea,
If
okay?
you can afford it, I would say do it. At least for $40. Jump in on it. Let's be real, guys. This is exactly what Kickstarter is for. This game
Absolutely.
is created by a man and a woman, and they're a small company, right? I think it's a 3-person team total if you include like art director and everything. I mean, I'm just speaking based off what I saw off the page. Smaller company. That's exactly what Kickstarter is for. And they're not asking for a lot. They're looking for $30K. They did $20K their first time they did this. I don't think it's a lot. Honestly, I think, yes, $40 for a card game can be a lot, but if it's something you enjoy, having those characters, the replayability of getting to mix and match and make a whole new character by having 15 total cards swapped out every single
and then
time you
all
make a
of
change.
the extra deluxeified sort of Kickstarter content that has and love that has gone into this. Yeah, absolutely. So, moving on, we have Rurik, Stone
Dawn
and
of
Blade.
Kiev.
Stone and Blade. It's the expansion to Rurik. This is by PieceKeeper Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. Should last about 35 minutes. What they're doing here is they're taking Rurik, Stone and Blade, and they're bringing back the deluxeified. Rurik, Dawn of Kiev, and they're bringing back the deluxeified version, as well as they're adding a expansion to it, and you can do either where you get they have so many cool like levels on this. Okay, so they have it where you can order just the expansion. They have it where you can do the all-in. So if you missed all of it, you can totally get all of it all together. They have it where you can also purchase separate things where they have like the map playmat, the neoprene playmat for it.
Which is always
and
nice.
organizing things. So maybe you didn't get the upgraded Kickstarter
I need
edition.
something to organize all my stupid playmats.
And with this game here, you have area control. You have this awesome market here that you're going to be able to get things from. You have the new things that they're adding from it, which we'll go down through it bit by bit in this section. But I do like the whole capturing portion where you're actually capturing the other player's pieces off the board. I was really excited about that part specifically, and some new buildings and stuff like that. So if you are already a fan of Rurik, then I mean, I don't know, it's doing quite well. I feel like at least the expansion would be instaback for everybody who loves Rurik. But I remember talking about this a while ago, like the original
did we
on
cover
this.
one?
I thought we did.
It sure seems familiar. And that's not to sound like we've been doing this show for a couple years now.
Well,
and
live
right.
for a couple years, but then like even the podcast, I
We
mean,
did
we've been
before
talking
that.
about Kickstarters for like, I don't know,
For a
4
while.
or 5 years now or something.
Right. And we cover 3 to 4 every week. So you can imagine 20 a month. It adds up. Definitely. I feel like it sounds familiar. Here, stop for just a second.
Oh,
Can
sorry,
you scroll up a little bit?
Okay.
So here's what I like, right? So Board Game Spotlight. Derek Funkhauser is a lover of games.
Yes.
He loves games. He's always like, number one pick, right? But for him to actually say number one game of 2019, that means he's looking at all the games he played in that year and loved it. He's big friends with Board Game Closet. Also said it was one of their number one games. We Game Together also said it was one of their number one games. Dice Tower said they loved it. There's a lot of support in the community for this one. I saw this one, I didn't see, before I saw the Kickstarter page, before I went hunting for Kickstarters, right?
Yes.
I saw multiple people getting hyped about it. Games of Fire loves this game, one of the favorite games in her collection.
So
there's so many people like this game that I had to add it to the list, even though I don't personally have any experience with it.
Hack-On says, interested in this? Has anyone played it? You know, we have not played Rurik. It's one of the ones on our list to play that we really want to get to the table, but we don't have it yet. But I want to get it to the table because I've heard so much good about it from everybody in the industry. You know, the people that we go ahead and play games with whenever we're out at conventions and stuff like that.
They all love it.
Like, they all love it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just missing from our collection and we need to get it to the table. So I almost love Kickstarters like this just because then I can go back and pick up these games that have been tried and tested and everything, and that maybe I missed on Kickstarter that first time. And then I'm like, oh, now I can get all the deluxe components and stuff that I want in it. Like, it makes me really excited because I know this was on my list, and I'm pretty sure there must have been something I think that we were backing or expenditures. We did not get this one at the time.
There's a real thing there. I mean, everybody has money, right? To a certain degree, and you have to always pick what you're going to spend it on.
This is right up my alley with the area control and everything on it.
is.
Like, I love games like this so much. And then all of the fun stuff that they've added to this and that marketing board with it, like...
Which I do like markets, I have to say. So that's why she's trying to talk me into it. This one is a harder sell for me, only because I have a lot of games that cover similar territory, but probably not all together, right? I don't think I have any game that does all these things in one game. And I've heard it approaches things in different ways also. So I'm very interested in it, but this being one of the more expensive ones to buy into this week, and since I'm only going to risk my burrito on one, that's why I went with the Ivion.
All right, so PieceKeeper Games says this is on TTS, Tabletopia, and Board Game Play, which is similar to Board Game Arena.
Wow.
Thank you so much
It
for
is
letting us
everywhere.
know that. So if you are interested, you can absolutely play this ahead of time if you are on the fence on it, okay? So let's see here.
So Games of Fire says,
yeah.
Derek is the one who introduced me to this. And when she says Derek, she's talking about Derek Funkhauser, not Derek me. The other Derek, lesser Derek.
The evil Derek.
He was named after me because I was born first. So Derek is the one who introduced this to me. This game, anyone who has not played this game has to play it. There's so many choices, multiple paths to victory. She also recommends the deluxe edition. Yeah, this is one of those things that everybody has money should be. Everybody has limited money.
That's exactly it, Mepper.
That's why we don't currently have it.
Exactly it. We can only back so many Kickstarters.
If we had,
okay?
So, I mean, realistically, every game that we've ever covered on our Kickstarter show,
Aw.
I think we would have backed almost all of them.
Oh yeah, if I had like the money to back all of these Kickstarters
If
that I
I would
wanted
have done
to,
better
yes.
in math and been an engineer instead of an infantryman.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'll tell you true facts. Fighting for your country as an infantryman doesn't pay well.
Not so good. Not so
Go
good.
figure.
Oh,
Go figure.
thank you so much, Vincent. We really appreciate
Thank
that.
you,
We're
Vincent.
excited to get Patreon going, and we're excited to do special content for all of you out there. We have stuff planned,
Which
okay?
we could talk about towards the end.
Absolutely. So let's see here. Games of Fire says, Gloryhoundd and DrGloryhogg. I'll play this with you
Boom.
on TTS. Thank you so much. Teach us the game. That would be fantastic. I'm down
We'd
for that.
love to do that.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of games we need to play on
And-
tabletop stuff. We just have a lot of games, which isn't a bad thing, but we have a lot of games just sitting on this table right now.
Hakan says, is it like Game of Thrones game with negotiation?
I
Now,
don't feel like it's as close to that one. I feel like Game of Thrones is very much more about negotiation and then
it's much
like
more
armies.
hardcore with negotiation, but this one is also about
This has
like
like
that
an
army and
economic-
area control, but it has the economic piece to it, which is like the main difference. But it does have a Game of Thrones feel to it with that map and everything and the way people are on board and with laying down those buildings. It absolutely does have that sort of feel to it, you know?
Thank you very much, Stephen. We appreciate any support you guys can give us because this is kind of what
thank you so much, Stephen.
This is kind of what we're doing now. So if we want to get groceries today, this is it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. If not,
Okay,
fair, I'll lose weight.
are we getting to the new stuff? Okay, what's new?
Okay.
I need to go over the what's new
So
stuff. Okay.
new leaders, which is going to give you new powers, right?
Absolutely,
Those
absolutely. So
asymmetrical powers.
exactly, new asymmetrical powers. We have
It's good that
new
you're going down
buildings.
this, so I don't forget.
Right. So, and that's kind of I love it. Okay. So first off, thank you so much, PieceKeeper Games,
This
for
was a
putting
great way to lay it out.
section where you just go over what's new because some game companies miss that, and it's frustrating having to like sift through all the information and tell people what's new. This shows it with little gifts and everything. We can show everybody exactly what's included with that expansion. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
Especially for people that aren't already aware of the game as much.
Yes, and
right?
it makes going through Kickstarter so much easier. So you're going to get 2 new buildings here. We got the Siege Tower and the Catacombs here, which are going to add new abilities and powerful effects to the board. Really excited about those because they just changed the game. And this part right here, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this part. So right here, where you can capture
decisions in warfare.
when attacking, but you also have the chance of like taking casualties upon doing that as well. So it's like
Makes sense.
a little bit of push your luck there with it, but lots of reward, you know? Such a violent Kickstarter. So many people being stabbed in jail.
Was there a
Says
Kickstarter
Better.
exclusive vampire factions? If there was, you know she'd be all in on it. You add some Vampire the Masquerade theming and boom.
I would 100% be down with that.
For Gloryhoundd. Insta-sell. She likes Vampire the Masquerade like I like
Oh, Pet says
everything else.
that was all the rage back in the Keevians, with the Keevians.
There was a triple murder in real life for the events surrounding this game.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad I read
my
that comment in
gosh.
full because at first I thought they were saying there was triple murder because of this game, and I was like, wait, what? But that makes a lot more sense. So the history of this game is based around. Got
Absolutely.
it. No one has died in the making of this game that we know of.
So you can earn new rewards.
No judgment.
New boon tokens, warfare rewards, and everything that you have going on there. That's really interesting in the game here.
10, 15,
More
that was a
ways
great
to
year.
score points in the game. Like, that's the sort of stuff that you're going to be getting with the expansion, which is very reasonably priced. What was it? The expansion, I think, was just $39. If you want the all-in, you're looking at $114, and I don't think that was for the deluxe portion of it.
I was going to say, yeah, there's another level.
Yeah, there was another level.
Also.
And I liked, though, how they broke it out, because they have, like, the regular expansion, then, like, the deluxeified, and then, like, the regular all-in, like, the deluxeified all-in. So you
Yeah, they had
can find
nice
it
puzzle
really,
levels.
yeah, you can find it really, really easily.
So we talk about this from time to time. This campaign was structured very well.
Yes, very, very well. And, like,
very easy to get into.
you can see what's in it, and you're getting a lot in that box there, because you're getting all of these miniatures that are included in the game. And I think that's one of the biggest parts here, as far as like driving the price of the game. The level was $149, was just for rush shipping. Oh, okay, perfect.
I'm
Thank you.
at Sinister Fish because they're saying, and the perpetrator was arrested just an hour later at 11:15. Exactly. Definitely not 100 years later. Are you okay? Sorry. You got her with that one, Sinister Fish. You got her. She's done. So that's cool. And this is why we ask people to come into the show, which is something newer that we started doing, because PieceKeeper just jumped right in and said, oh, no, that's just for the rush shipping, which
that's
legit.
Huge. Well, that's why we always ask designers, publishers.
$149 is all in, $159 is all in with split shipping. So then you can get your stuff faster.
So we always ask designers and publishers to come to the show, because if we make a mistake or we miss something or something else is going on in the game, like, you can always comment and answer questions in our chat for everybody there.
Boy, you are really holding on to that burrito. Are you going to use it today, or?
I'm going to use this burrito today. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, okay?
You're going to save it for later? You're going to make it at the very end? Well, we should almost do that. Make it at the very end. Make everybody wait.
Wait and then see our burrito predictions.
At the end.
I'll save my burrito till the end, and I'll let you know exactly where I'm going to spend my burrito, okay? All right. So, DrGloryhogg, what do you think about this?
This falls into a very specific category of games. Games that I'll probably love once I play them, but I don't have the insta-hype now, right? And, hey, it's a real thing, right? Everybody has their thing, you know? You see something like Coloma, and you're like, oh, mwah, Coloma, a Western game. I love it.
You can't go Italian and go, mwah, Coloma, whenever it's a Western game.
And then if you're Gloryhoundd, you go, vampires, mwah, I love the blood and the sucking of the neck.
Least fits.
That's your favorite part, right? So everybody's got their own different thing. This is probably one of those games, though, that I'd have to play to really appreciate the significance of it. It does seem like something that I would enjoy, but I'm already all in on Ivion, so I'm not going to change my mind now. I've made my decision. I stand firm.
Everyone.
The Greg category, yes, the try before you buy category.
Everyone.
Which is what we really miss when Greg's not here. But I will say that Greg did do a Hooked on Geek podcast on Monday.
I'm gonna talk to him and be like, hey Greg,
you coming back? We keep trying to get him to jump in on like video conferences, because we're still isolating. We're not hanging out with a bunch of people, so.
All right.
You won't see him in a chair, so we can start eating up in this bad boy.
Chat, what do you think about this? Are you backing this game? I'm gonna say I really would like to back this game.
That does not surprise
I'd really
me.
like to back this game. It's right up my alley.
About some area control too.
I love area control games.
I love the idea of area control, but I always lose.
I love games where I don't know. There's something about like when you feel like you're like a captain or a general
okay, that makes sense.
You're like a king and you're like, bah, go my minions, go across the board.
This is it, exactly. So you like area control because you get to feel like the commander, the general, right? Since I was in the infantry, I actually worked for a living. I like the game where I'm legitimately the pyromancer, or I am like the wizard that's actually literally fighting. That
you like the fighting.
I like the one-on-one fighting.
DrGloryhogg, that's why you're part of
being the
my
general.
army. That's why you're part of the Gloryhoundd Presents army.
I'm her meat shield. Stand over there. Collect those bullets, my little magnet man. Collect them for me. Conquistador hound.
Hashtag free Greg. That's right. We're going to talk to Greg. We need Greg back.
Oh, God.
We need Greg
how
back.
do we get a cardboard cutout of Greg that just says,
I wish.
to try before I buy it?
You know what? We should have totally done that. You know what, Battle Cry? What the heck? Why didn't you bring this to us earlier?
Send us our Discord. Come on, join our Discord. Send us amazing ideas so we can seem smart on stream.
That's right. And we will implement those ideas very strategically in your honor.
No, I will not give you credit. I will try to pretend like it was me. I am Gloryhoundd, for the love of God.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's fair.
will say it was my idea, but you will know secretly that it was your idea.
So Games of Fire says, I'm backing the expansion, and I didn't get the deluxe edition, so I'm upgrading my copy too.
Now that says something, right? Because I did that with Dice Throne, right? Where I got the re-rolled season 1. There's very many, I don't usually deluxeify a game. I also just did that with A Touch of Evil, which was one of my gateway games that I played a long time ago. I just got the 10th anniversary edition delivered like yesterday. So it's not very often that I do that. I typically won't get a new version of a game once I already have the regular version.
Yeah, I'm not as big into playmats as you are, but I'm really digging the playmats and coins on this just because...
You love coins.
I do love coins, but the playmat, having a map-based playmat, I just really like map-based playmats.
Nosferatu Clown has a good idea. We can actually just cut a little Greg Mass with the bubble words I need to try, which would save us a significant amount of money. I know you're on Discord, Battlecry. I'm saying give me the ideas on Discord so I can seem smart on stream.
Oh, gosh. All right, so...
Don't do it live, because now everybody knows it's your idea if I do it later, and they won't think I'm clever.
I would like to back this game, DrGloryhogg, so...
That does not surprise
We're going
me.
to have to talk about that. We're going to have to figure that out. Moving on... We have Streets. This is by Sinister Fish Games. This is for 1 to 5 players. It should last about 30 to 60 minutes. Now, my description of this game is something that DrGloryhogg said would not go over very well.
I personally find it mean-spirited, your thoughts on this one. So this game, this game is interesting because you are selecting tiles to put out. You're trying to attract certain people to your tiles, and then you score based off of the combinations you make once you close off the streets, and you get points, right? So that
they have the hipster. Like, they have like, and here's the hipster.
So here, if I'm going to make a parent, I'm going to make them like look like this, like
really tired, like,
yeah.
Oh my God, why am I here
Because let's
today?
be honest, for the most part, I spend most of my time being exhausted ever since the kid was born. So I like the idea of this game. As you guys already know, spoilers, I already risked my burrito on the first one. But I do like the idea of this game. I feel like this is a game I would play a lot with Greg, because Greg is kind of more into the really kind of thinky, Euro-y tile games, which aren't usually something I'm as excited about. I think you guys all know that it's like, for me, it's like theme and mechanics are both really high, but if it's only got one or the other, that really can sway me. For this one, I think the mechanics are solid. The theme doesn't do anything for me personally. But that being said, I played Fantastic Factories, which the theme does nothing for me, but I really like the dice placement mechanics of it. So I know, I think this one's probably got more to it than is on the surface. But as far as just the overall theme, it seems very, well, it's like a pretty generic theme with like streets and hipsters and parents and everything.
Oh, definitely, because you strategically placing things down and then removing or selling off those properties at key times and stuff like that, I can see how this is going to be a very strategic game where you're going to get into it going, oh man, this is like so cute, and like this is going to be so nice putting these little meeples down on here. And then as you get into it, you're like, oh, that person just got like all those people over to that thing because they strategically planned and like put the right meeples in the right places and sold their properties at the right time, and now they have a huge flow of people and they're going to be able to like make a lot of money off of that. Like, it's going to build up over time as you're playing that game through there. And I like games like that.
And you can run out of, like, because you get to claim the tile when you place it, but you can run out of that. So you might be like, I'm going to take it off of this one and put on this one, because I think this one will score. Or if you think a street won't be completed, you'll score it at the end, but you only get like half points. So there's a lot of really good things in here that makes it feel like it would be a fun game to play.
So Nosferatu like totally said what DrGloryhogg said earlier. This looks like a much better version of Manchikoro.
I think it's the art that makes you think of that, right? Because Manchikoro is all about just rolling and getting points off of certain things.
I did not like Manchikoro.
So I think it's the art style is kind of similar, but there's a lot of, it's like that very like kind of cartoonishy, like Apple-y style, like, you know, Apple the company style, like art, I think, with a lot of whites and light colors.
So
I don't know what that style would be called. I'm sure there's a name for it.
I really like this game.
Chic?
This game looks really, really interesting. I love how the tile placement on it, or the little placement of the buildings, is really, really strategic in what you're trying to do, and then being able to sell off those properties at key times is really strategic as well. This reminds me.
Oh no.
This reminds me.
Gloryhoundd Presents does not support this statement as a whole.
Of a new, like, fancy, super board gamer version of Monopoly. Monopoly.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Like, in a really good way, though. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying, like, why didn't Hasbro pick this up and, like, put a Monopoly theme on this? Because this is, like, a Monopoly that I would want to play, you know? Because you're going through and you're purchasing things and you're selling things off and everything. You have like a simple sort of gameplay with like some strategic depth to it, But I think this would have done really, really well with that sort of like themed concept over it because this is cute.
See,
Ouch.
I don't think
Not
she
in a
means
bad
it.
way.
She doesn't mean it in a bad
No.
way. And I only say Machikoro because of the art. That's the only thing that reminds me of Machikoro, because of the art of the little cards.
See, Sinister Fish says, I had that thought and then I made myself have a cold bath.
I think...
I'm telling you, Hasbro should have picked this up, okay?
We could talk very closely about, or very quickly about the reputation some games have, right? There's games that have bad reputation because they've been out for a long time and they were gateway games and now everyone's like, oh, I'm so much better than them. Like, I would play Monopoly today if my dad asked me to because that's the game I played with him when I was younger. We only played it every couple of years. I would love to play Monopoly with my dad again. But that being said, I would never play Monopoly on my own just because. It has its own special place. It is what it is.
No, this would be fantastic. You could have like the Boardwalk Cafe shop and then like all the hipsters going there and stuff like that would be like super awesome.
I need
like
this burrito. Your daughter's already started picking at that burrito. They're soft and squishy.
How dare you?
The eyes are going to pop out on that one like a pug.
No, it would have been a fantastic thing for them to have picked up because this has a like, and not in a bad way, like this has like a Target feel to it, like something you could pick up at a Target or a Walmart and then show to a bunch of people that might not be super interested in games and then make it like a really fun experience for them.
So my brother named it Minimalist. It's the minimalist design, which is fine. I love the minimalist design when I first saw it.
Minimalist design is cute on it. I like it on it.
Now I want the convoluted design. I want design that has design on top of design on top of design for no reason. Just cobwebs and skulls in it for no reason at all.
Petter also says SimCity is much more acceptable than Monopoly.
That I could see. I would much rather play a SimCity version of the game if you get that licensing, which
Either
probably
way,
is not cheap.
I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed by this. Like, I think it's going to be a
Zombicide crossover for this. Quick, kill the hipsters before they take over the microbrewery. Kill them all!
Oh, the microbrewery would be a fantastic card. Oh my gosh, right?
I think there's a lot of really cool...
There it is, the microbrewery right there. That is fantastic.
So I think
that's where the hipsters go.
I think there's a lot of really cool things in this, but for me, theme is so important. So for me, I'm not a huge fan of the minimalist theme in games. It's a hard sell for me. I have to play it first, and I know that makes me like an old grandpa or an old Greg, if you will. I'm old Greg, but I have to like play it in order to be like, I really enjoy this.
That's exactly it. This is a game Grandma would pick up, and it would actually be a really, really good game. Yes.
I would play this over a lot of other games that my family has.
So in the end, what I'm saying is this might look like something that you would see at Target, Walmart, whatever, and that you might be like, or on the fence about, like, is this really a hobby game or not? But actually is a really nice hobby game in disguise because of the interesting interactions that are going to happen when buying and selling those properties.
I like that better than the Monopoly thing you said.
You're just really hurt by the Monopoly comment.
Only because it's like, man, could you call something? That's like the worst thing to call them, you know?
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see here. A simple addition to the game, big change. What is it? Oh yeah, the 7 consultants, right, that you have that are going to be like different people that you can play
the basic version with your family that doesn't play a lot of games,
and then you upgrade it.
And then you then you sneak in all those consultants.
And Mepper is correct, but think about all those cute little meeples, 100%. Yeah. So talking about as far as like the base game versus the deluxeified game, which I believe was not a big price jump, right? Because like the base game's $31, I think the deluxeified is like $38 or something like that as I was going through and looking at it. But you're getting so much for, I mean, you're getting all of the little wooden pieces. You're getting, I don't know if they're screen printed or if they have like stickers on them, but you're getting like, here it is. Okay, they are screen printed. Perfect. Okay. So standard edition, you are getting the wooden meeples, but you're getting basically cardboard of everything. But in the deluxeified version, you are getting wooden tokens of everything with stuff screen printed, which I love so much. It makes your game so much fun to play and like so much fun to pick up all the pieces. I love deluxeified games so much. I do like
that this is kind of based off that same world as like Villagers. Or is it Villages?
Villages? I don't know.
It's one of the
other. I'm not for sure.
But this is not the first game that this company has made. So you know that they've actually played this style of game before, right? Like it feels like it's kind of like a very easy to get into, but has like a lot of different things to do with it. Because any tile laying game is essentially easy in your mind, right? Because you're like, I place a tile. All the decisions are made with what types of tiles you have, and then where you place them. That's where all of the thinkiness
So
is.
Sinister Fish Game says heat transfer print on the meeples. They are full color, which I totally dig. They look so fantastic. We had some little meeple people for Terror in Meeple City, which just adds so much fun whenever they're actual like little, they have little
those
printed
ones, we
stuff
had to
on
put
them.
Stickers on them.
I know, the screen printed ones are so much better, but I'm saying that adds so much flavor to your game when you can envision like these little people actually out there on the boards and on the cards and stuff like that. It just, I don't know, it adds a really nice touch. It adds a really nice fun touch, and it gets more people to your table, honestly, because people can relate more to little tokens like that than they can to just plain meeple tokens if they're not gamers, you know?
There's going to be an expansion called The Crow, where actually you come in and you have to like have vengeance on the people that killed you.
What?
And you're running around the streets going, fire it up, fire it up. That's what's next.
That is not an official expansion. Not an official expansion.
It'll be posted on BGG by Gloryhoundd. She's going to make it.
All in all, I think this is going to be a really cute game. And let's see here. So the price on this was $31.38 or $71.91. I'm going to have to go and look at that really quick here. Hold on.
That's not bad.
Hold on. What was this all about? Okay, so in the just streets.
So it's about $50 US. You got to make sure you're like, that's the Streets Deluxe. It's $50.
There we go. Okay. So Streets Deluxe is 51 on that. Oh wait, hold on. Let's get over
I do
there.
like the screen printing on the actual meeples themselves. And Kabuki Kid and I are going to hang out and watch the old X-Men cartoons and The Crow.
I'm down with this though. I want to back this. All 3 games this week.
Yeah,
were just really, really solid.
Right, we wouldn't talk about
week.
it if we didn't have some level of commitment to wanting to buy it, right?
So
it's got free shipping too. Well, that's pretty good. That's a good thing.
Thank you, Vincent. I did not realize that. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And Rado really likes this game. I mean, he made like 15 quotes for it, I feel like. Like, I couldn't find anything wrong with it, all kinds of stuff.
All in all, we usually pick 3 to 4 of the best Kickstarters every week that we want to talk about. So we're already interested in it and what's happening.
It's self-serving because we want to dig more into them to justify our own purchases.
Right, and then we ask all of you at home to help us dig into these things and let us know all the little tiny details about them, like free shipping and stuff.
Deal breakers so that we can like...
That's right. And then we collectively can decide whether we would back them or not. But I'd like to back this. Dr. DrGloryhogg, would you like to back this game?
I'm sticking to just one.
Just the one.
Yep.
Just the one.
I'm feeling very thematic today. I feel like I need that heavy theme.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I just want to burn some library books.
Hello, Timon. Hello to chat. So I still have my burrito that I have to talk about for what am I going to spend?
Yeah.
My burrito on this week. Only pick one. If I could only pick one this week.
Which doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'll be back more than one.
I'm going to say, I'm like looking at my notes right now. Oh, okay.
What's going on, Luke?
It's gonna be Rurik.
That's the one?
Yes, because that has all of the things that I really, really love playing so much. And I really like both the other ones. It's a hard decision, but I'm gonna go with Rurik this week, yeah.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
It's my burrito. I can spend it however I want, Dr. Gloryhogg.
See, Nosferatu, you should get one of the different ones, so that way we can just play over Skype or something, and then you can have a set, and I can have a set. Boom. Done.
Oh, nice. Luke dyed their hair purple recently, too. Yeah, we got purple and pink going on in here.
I'm all about trying to convince people to buy different versions.
So Ivion
Petter says Ivion,
would get my burrito as well. What? All right. Okay. Let's see here.
Which, to be fair, Ivion is the one that needs the support the most.
That is very fair. Let's see here. Who else? Yeah, let us know in the comments what you're going to be spending your burrito on. So
if you can only pick one. I know that's the hard choice, right?
That's the hardest part.
It's like only keeping one child, picking one pet.
If you want to.
Hands down, it's our Jack Russell. I'm sorry. He's the cutest.
No.
He loves me the most.
You just passed up Wesley and the Big Boof?
Listen, Big Beef is very lovely, but that's definitely more your dog. Tex is my dog. I'm sorry.
Oh my God! This is why.
Does Big B
they love
get up
me
on the
more.
bed
That's why.
and
This is
cuddle
why
up
they
with
love me more. Okay.
No, the Jack Russell, he's all about it. Who's at my feet right now? If I put my feet out, who am I going to kick? Am I going to kick Big Beef or am I going to kick the Jack Russell Tex?
So Omar says
Yeah.
Rurik #easy game.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mepper says #1 for Rurik and Streets is #2.
Kabuki Kid is waiting for Robinson Caruso.
Very nice. Can I still get guacamole on the side
Yes.
if I spend my burrito? Absolutely. You just get your game and you get a bowl full of guacamole and you just eat it while playing your
my
game.
God. So here's the deal. I like guacamole, but I'm like partially allergic to, I'm like getting allergic to everything. Thanks, Mom. Allergic to everything. So like avocados is one of them, makes my tongue kind of tingly and a little bit numb.
That's okay. I just eat his guacamole.
So when I get my burrito, right, I get the guacamole for free. So then she takes my guacamole, and then sometimes she takes the kids' guacamole too. So she's
I have like 3 things
got her
worth of
burrito,
guacamole.
and she's like this, and she's just like.
It's basically just a burrito filled with guacamole
It's a
and
lot
some
of
beans
guac.
and rice. Okay,
It's
that's
a lot of
pretty
guac.
much all it is. No chips, just the guacamole. Evian, but it's so close.
Yeah.
All right, so announcements for the channel. Do we have some stuff we want to go over? We're playing Roman Roll on Sunday. We just got that in. I'm so excited to play this game, everyone. Make sure to join us for that. However, if you're used to seeing us on Sundays playing games, we're actually going to be switching that.
I think we're going to do less weekend streams for a couple reasons. Like I said, one, our streams are always dictated by my work schedule. That's why we always did them at 6 p.m. and then on Sunday. I want to move away from the weekend streams because that's the day when my kid's not in school. I'd rather spend that time with her and have a whole day and not have to spend a couple hours of like playing a game and doing all the other extra stuff you have to do, setting up the event, all that kind of stuff on Sunday. That's time taken away from spending with our kid.
Absolutely.
So we'll still do them from time to time. If that's what we're, if people want us to do them on, then we will. But it won't be an every week type of thing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But we're still going to do 2 playthroughs a week no matter what.
Yes, and don't worry about it for all of our European people that watch our shows and stuff like that. We are still going to keep that 2 o'clock time slot. So we have like a variance of stuff. We have like one at noon, one at 6, one at 2. So we can kind of like catch everybody because we don't want to totally seclude one group of people because we're changing our dates. So it's just the date, not the time on that, okay?
Right, and that you'll start to see that implemented more. Like I still need to post Roman Roll because I've been behind because I've been working at some other stuff here, trying to figure out some different streams of income, doing other contract stuff with the companies.
What else we got?
Other thing was, our Patreon. If you did want to join our Patreon, we have one set up finally. We know a couple people were very gracious and used the super chat to send money our way, which really helped. But it also, there's a big cut that they take, YouTube takes a big cut of that. So
Absolutely.
We set up a Patreon, and the nice thing about the Patreon, we're setting up more levels for it, but essentially you get to vote for games that we play, and eventually we're going to have some other things that we'll add, but getting in right now at the ground level, you're going to get our utmost sincere thanks. You'll get our chef's kiss.
Our chef's kiss. You're really into the chef's kiss right now.
I am really into it. And yes, Games of Fire still does a Sunday stream. So
Absolutely,
you can definitely check that out on
absolutely.
Twitch.
So yeah, if you are looking for a Sunday stream, Games of Fire
If we do
does
a
one.
weekend stream, I think we're going to try to push it towards Saturday because a lot of times Saturday is the day that the kid spends with grandma. So
it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, we want to. I don't want to spend the one weekend day we have with our kiddo doing the stream.
Join the Patreon to vote for Reichbusters every day.
At this point, you would probably, since there's not very many people on it, you pretty much could probably pick what we play. And the way that's going to work essentially is that out of the ones we vote, we'll do like an extra stream, and we'll do that one, and then it'll be exclusive. We'll send out a link to everyone who's at that pledge level, and then we'll post it like 2 weeks later for everybody else. Because we don't want to exclude anybody because not everybody can pay, and I get that.
Totally understand.
I have only a Patreon on like to 2 people, and I had to stop them when I lost my job. It happens. So we don't want to exclude anybody because any kind of likes, shares, all that is great support. It helps us get out there. It helps publishers know that we exist so that we can do playthroughs and they can spend money for us to play games for you guys. But that being said, we appreciate anything you can do to help out.
Oh my gosh. So Ryan says, wait, can we vote to make DrGloryhogg play the game he hates?
Can.
Yes, you can. Why, yes, you can.
And I'll do it. And I'll be sad about it. So if there's games out there.
If you want to see DrGloryhogg grump the entire game, then absolutely, let's do it.
You could probably get the lowdown from her about games that I do not enjoy.
I think that's all of our news, though, that we got going on, right?
Yeah, I think so. We
And-
appreciate everyone being here. We do
Yes.
it live specifically for you because
Absolutely.
we want your viewership.
We love interacting with
Yeah.
all of you in chat. You blew up the chat today, and you are all super amazing, and we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today in chat. Thank you so much to the publishers and any designers that showed up for this. We really appreciate all of your commentary and talking to everybody in chat, because all of you are actually what makes this show super amazing, is all of you in chat right now.
Oh, you messed
know?
up. Now Petter's going to start a vote monopoly.
No! Longest
That hurts
game
her, not
ever.
me.
Longest game ever. Don't do it.
I'll play it. I have no issues with the game. It is what it is. It's for a simpler
Play
time.
diplomacy. That one doesn't take forever.
It's for a simpler time where I could have my gushers and my fruit by the foot and nobody would judge me.
Oh my goodness.
My Capri Suns, if you will.
Well, there you
The
go.
good
Make it
old
all
days.
fancy. Make it all fancy. Other than that, we will see all of you, well, on Sunday. On
Yeah,
Sunday.
Sunday. We're
All
going
right.
to do our normal stream this Sunday.
Bye.